everybody, and welcome to another edition of My Car Shop, episode 24 on the 47 Ford Street Rod. Glad you could join us again. Today's probably going to be a little bit abbreviated. Woke up feeling a bit under the weather today, and I have other things I do need to take care of today, but I did want to get the manifold put back on, get things buttoned up on this side, get this engine fired up, and let it run for 20 minutes, and get that heat coating baked onto the exhaust manifolds. We'll see what the rest of the day holds, whether or not I find time to get the intake manifold done today. But always want to do something out here to move forward while I'm going hot and heavy on this project. The weather's still crap outside. I'm barely able to maintain 55 degrees in the shop so far. I'm guessing it's going to get up to 60 out today, so I might get it up to 65 in here. So that's okay. These fenders can dry a bit more. It won't hurt anything to have them cure a bit more before we get after those. I'm still waiting on the seam sealer, so there you go on that. So let's got some time lapse going for you, and let's get after this passenger side manifold on the 47 Ford. Rock. Okay, so I think I forgot to turn the time lapse on early on, and I missed part of the assembly process over there. But as luck would have it, one of the bolts got messed up threads. I may have to take that manifold back off. So sometimes that's the way it goes. I don't have a bolt. I just dug around to see if I had one, and no luck. So, but that's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do right now. So let's get this doors opened up and get this car fired up, and let it run for 15 or 20 minutes and get these manifolds cured in. Ooh. Well, it's sounding good, so it's just now a matter of it baking and heating up and getting that paint cooked on there so it cures real good the way it's supposed to. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay, we're about 5 minutes in now, and you can see that things are starting to bake off a little bit. You can see the smoke in the air. That's good. Oil pressure is looking good. Don't have the voltmeter hooked up, but temperature is okay. Don't have to turn the fan on yet. I will have to in a couple minutes, but everything's looking great in here, except the fact that my gauges are dirty. I've got the door to the stairway of heaven open here. Gets a great cross breeze in the shop, so until I keep things from getting too fogged out. Normally I would put that car outside, but just leaving it there for the day, it's fine. So as long as I have things opened up and the heat off, it'll be great. About 8 minutes in now. Temperature's starting to push up to 190, so we're going to get the fans going here now, get things cooled down a bit. Not too bad. Thermostat just opened now, it's dropping down, but it's going to get warm soon, so we'll get the fan running here. pressure's down, oil pressure's looking good. Couldn't be better. About 5 more minutes to go. Stop smoking now. Still got a few more minutes to go, but the smoke is pretty well stopped now. Temperature's holding great. I'm really happy. Looks like it's baking on well. So just a little bit more, we'll be able to shut it down. Part of what my thinking was earlier was get this done and then let the engine cool down before I can do the intake anyway, because I don't want to leave these sit around without curing. That could cause their adhesion later to be a problem. So that was my thinking. Let's get this done this morning, and then maybe in a couple hours, once it's cooled down, we can get the intake off. So that was part of my rationale for not putting it outside, because of the starter the way it is right now. I need to replace it. Once it's warmed up, it really gives me a fit sometimes trying to get it started. So if it's in the shop here, I can just shut it off and let it cool down and not worry about it being outside if the weather happens to change with the engine this warm. So there you go. I've got 2 alligator clips for the fan, just temporary right now, and one of them, the spring broke in, so it doesn't want to stay on, and when I rev it up, the radiator shakes and knocks it off. So I just got an alligator clipped right onto the positive terminal on the alternator that's right there, and then grounded. So that's why I have to keep hooking it back up. So it's getting pretty warm now. I want to check that temperature, make sure things are good. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, but I wanted to do some wide open throttle stabs just to get a little more exhaust temperature to help that paint bake on. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the baking process is done, but because that fan fell off, the temperature is still up a little over 200. Not that hot, I'm not that worried about it, but I want to let it cool down a bit before I shut it off. So when it gets back down to 185 or 190, then we'll shut the fan off, shut the engine off, and well, I'll shut the engine off and let the fan run a bit more so the radiator cools a bit more. But we should be good now. It's not smoking anymore. As these cool down, I think the temperature or the color of that coating is going to change just a little bit, so we'll see what that looks like. But I'm really happy with the way this is, and nothing's peeling off, and if it goes according to the way it always has when I've used this before, it should never peel if it's done right. Okay, so she was down to 190. I got her shut off now, and letting that fan cool her down some more. It should be good. I'm a little bit reluctant to try to start it again with that starter draw being so high. When it's cool, it's fine, but when it's hot, it really puts a big drain on that battery cable, and I don't want to take a chance on melting the terminals off like happened before. It could blow the battery up, so I'm just going to be real cautious and not try to start it again right now. So yeah, let's let her cool down, and then we'll decide where we're going from here. Okay, so the manifolds are all cured, and I'm very glad I did coat the other one. My instincts were right. It turned out much darker than it used to be, so it looks great. I'm draining the radiator right now, getting ready to pull the intake off, but that'll be another episode for another day. I forgot that this thing holds about 75 gallons worth of coolant. So you can see that the manifolds look great, and everything is good. So we'll get this intake popped off of here and get that gasket replaced tomorrow, and I have a few other things to do. And then I think we're getting close to the point that we can bolt the inner fenders on. I do need to be able to shoot them with satin black one more time. They got a little marked up sitting around, but won't take long to do that, and hopefully the weather starts warming up towards the end of the week. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's episode of My Car Shop. I'm just not feeling 100% today, and work has been a little bit busy today, so I don't have quite as much time to do things that I wanted anyway. So sometimes you just can't fight it. You just got to roll with how things happen. As I mentioned, the cooling system is draining right now, and we'll let that drain overnight so it's down good. But shouldn't be any problem at all to get that intake out of there tomorrow, get everything sandblasted up, and get it clean. I'd like to do it in the bead blast cabinet, but I may just have to take it outside and do it with my big pressure blaster. So one way or another, we'll get that cleaned up. A couple other little things I want to get done as well to get this front end buttoned up, but things are moving well. As I mentioned, I got to replace one of the exhaust manifold bolts at the end of the thread stripped off the bolt, so I may have to take that manifold back off and chase that thread. I don't think it hurt the head, but the bolts are just a bit short, and I need to find some that are a 1/4 inch longer. So I want to get that done before I put the inner fender wells on, because sure as anything, what would happen is I don't do that and I take that out and the threads end up being messed up in there. Then I'm trying to tap in those holes and take that manifold back off. That's just not worth it when I can sit there, on that tire as you've seen me do and work on it. So overall, we're moving forward well. Pleased with the progress, definitely. Oh, I did put together an order for Eastwood. I'm just going over everything one more time. I'm going to go ahead and get that seam sealer ordered. I think by the time that order ships and gets here, it'll be about time to be painting those fenders as well. So that's another good thing. I think that's going to do it. So thanks for joining us for this episode of My Car Shop 47 Ford Street Rod Project. Stay safe out there. If you would, tell your friends about this channel. Get them to come over and subscribe. Make sure you click that little bell so you get the notifications and you see when the new episodes come out. We really appreciate it. We've got a whole bunch of things that we're working on to share with you that I think you're going to really enjoy. So thanks for watching the show. Make it a great week for yourself. Stay healthy and safe.